Rangers have very clearly improved defensively under Danny Röhl since he's come in. We're now 5 clean sheets in a row, 9 out of 15 in the league games, and that's the back-to-back games where we've conceded 0 big chances for the first time this season. We were averaging 2.1 per game up when Danny Röhl came in. A lot of it's ball side orientated, what they call. So see those Dundee players in red you can see just now? They're no longer part of the pitch. We want to focus on one half of the pitch, force everything into that side to either force a team to go long down the line or down the line into an area whereby it's risky enough for us to press and get an overload like you see in this Aberdeen clip. The clip down there, Rangers have got a 4v3 around the ball. They've got Asgard and Gassama in quite good central areas when it transitions into possession for Rangers. So when Fernandez wins, he's got a free man to play to. And then when Asgard gets it, he's got Gassama to play to. So it's when we play with Asgard, we've got that advantage of having an extra player in there to quick transition that we didn't have in the Old Firm because we switched to a midfield free, which we're now going to see here. Although this is a throw-in, it's the similar ideas. It's kind of a high press to force people into an area that we want. We've got that overload 5v3 on the side. As you can see, it's only Gassama in that transition spot this time because Asgard's came off and we're kind of playing with a flat free midfield. But the same idea exists. As soon as we win it, you've then got free across the back line to transition to. Mikey Moore coming off the left this time. And this little movement becomes the critical moment in that Old Firm and gives Rangers the 3 points. As you can see, it's kind of a high block. You force to the side, and now this is when we want to engage because we have a 5v4. So worst case scenario, man for man, but we do have an extra man here, and all we really do is let ourselves down with the final part here. We're in a very good position to start with. Mikey Moore's ready to jump if it needs to, but what Chimiti needs to do is he needs to allow this pass back to the left centre half and avoid it going inside where it does, because when it goes inside, that then continues on to a moment where we don't have any protection and Aberdeen can kind of start playing through the pitch. And you then result in Nico Raskin jumping. But everyone else, the structure's good. We're covering the middle of the pitch. Even when Shinnie gets the ball, he's only got one option. Now, for me, this is where the tweaks need to happen. Raskin puts great pressure on the ball. The Aberdeen player's got his head down, ready to play it long. Defensive line needs to step up or drop here. Needs to make one decision or the other. For me, there was good enough pressure to step up and actually play the Aberdeen player a good few yards offside if done properly, but you don't often see that a whole lot with teams with like a strict offside line. They kind of quite happy just to defend balls over the top and chase. But how quickly Rangers get 9 men back behind the ball, and that's the kind of commitment that Danny Röhl's instilled in the team to try and get these clean sheets and get these shutouts and reduce the big chances created, that has allowed Rangers to nick games 1-0. The only disappointing thing here is that they get the shot off from 25 yards, but I guess you're probably backing Jack Butland that he can cover that more often than not. Again, this is when I say it needs to be perfect. Aberdeen could combine and get out here very quickly because the gaps between the midfield were not on. It's why I'm not always convinced that Asgard can play in the system in some of these games, but his quality with the ball, danger from set plays, the ability to quick counter like this, Diomande very unlucky. I think there was some comments around maybe Miovski, but I felt it was more the newbies, so Chukwani and Olsen, that maybe need to get up to speed on what's expected of Danny Röhl, kind of ball side orientated press and block, because this seems a little bit too easy. We almost get out a couple of times, but it just seems a little bit too easy for Dundee to find middlemen. Here you see Miovski put good pressure on because he knows it's going to go across the other side and he's going to force that, but Moore doesn't jump at all, so the player that receives the ball is where Moore could be, but Miovski recovers well. Asgard's allowing the pass to go wide because that then should allow Rangers again to get ball side. So what we're going to do is you're going to see Miovski and Asgard force it to keep going that way so it can't come back inside the pitch. Moore could be in a little bit more here, but Rangers still have the 4v3 on the ball side, so where the ball is, Rangers have got 4 men around 3 possible Dundee passes. Asgard's blocking it going back, Miovski's blocking it going into the middle. So Rangers are the favourites here, although what just happened there was when he beats his man, it ends up 2v2, but Olsen recovers, Tav recovers, and Rangers end up back with possession. There's that very similar pass that happened against Aberdeen, but Chimiti will block it over to force to the side, try and block in any sort of middle option here. And when you do this effectively, the only real option you've got for the fullback is to try and play it in behind, to play it over the top. And if that's not perfect, what happened in the Old Firm was Stelling cuts us out, Rangers counter, and this is the moment that leads to the equaliser. I know a lot of stuff happens in between, but it's all from that shape of mid-block to high press to force people down the line and kind of trap them on that side, so they've run out of options of, can you go in behind? Can you go central? Rangers kind of have the sussed it as to where the spaces are. Now it's definitely not perfect, again, as I've said, but you can see even there Miovski trying to block the central area. Rangers have big numbers in the middle. Miovski's pointing because he now knows that Raskin, Asgard and Olsen need to get higher and across the pitch to make sure that central player is not free to get on the ball, because you can see something that Raskin's now identified now. Olsen and Asgard in the other half of the pitch, and that's not what Danny Röhl wants. Danny Röhl wants that ball side orientation so we can pick up and overloads in that area, but Magoma, very good 1v1 defending. And this is where, again, not perfect. We've got them trapped on ball side. Players aren't shutting off where the massive gaps are for me, as I feel like Dio could shut in, Moore could shut in, and those two Aberdeen players in red are your players that you would call ineffective just now. They can be taken out of the game. Rangers, however, Fernandez happy to defend 1v1 just because Aberdeen picked the wrong ball and chucked it long. Rangers counter-attack, create the chance. Unlucky they're not go 2-0 up in this game, but it was a game again where they kept a clean sheet, so overall defensive structure very good. Again, I know it's from a throw-in, I know it's a unique perspective, but ball side Preston and Hunting, as you've got numbers in the overload in that area, so you're creating as much chances, much danger without the ball as some teams do with the ball.